Hello, I'm Stan Copeland, the pastor of Lovers Lane United Methodist Church.
And I am Dee Dee Jones. I am an associate pastor right here with Pastor Stan at Lovers Lane United Methodist Church. And what an honor it is to be with you today.
Well, it's great to be here with Hope Connection, and we have a special guest today. We've been really excited about this. Dee Dee, tell us a little more about our guest.
She's wonderful. Her name is Vanessa DeSilvio, and she is incredible. She is an actress, and she is beautiful, but she's not just beautiful on the outside. She's beautiful on the inside, and she is going to share with us today. Vanessa was, Stan, the woman at the well in the series that's out right now, The Chosen.
You thought you had to tell me that. But I knew that.
You knew this.
Because I love The Chosen. And one of my favorite stories in the Bible is the woman at the well.
I love it.
And the way Vanessa portrayed the woman at the well was classic.
It was amazing. And she made you feel like you were that woman.
Absolutely.
Welcome, Vanessa.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
We are so glad you are here.
I'm blessed to be here. Yeah.
I told him on Sunday that she's the only person I know that could make dirt all over your face look beautiful.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
She did. So Vanessa, what we want to know today, obviously we are about hope. That's what we want to bring is we want to connect people to hope. And we want to talk through and hear a little bit about you and when was a time that you needed hope in your journey?
Sure. So it's a great question. I feel like I need hope all the time. I'm a mother to 3 boys. So there you go. I need hope every single day, going through a day with 3 boys who are ages 8, 6, and 2. But the hope can range from something super small, like, oh, I just hope my son has a great day and we don't get a note sent home from the teacher today, to, something a little, more serious. We're waiting test results, or we're waiting on, something that could be life-changing. I think that's where hope has to come into play as well. So it's a great question, because I looked at it, and the first thing I thought of, because I'm like, wow, it's such a huge question. But the first thing I thought of was the time when I needed hope was when we were trying to get pregnant with my second. And my first pregnancy was super, we conceived so quickly. It was just so quick that I thought, oh, wow, that was easy. But I do remember thinking in the back of my head, is it always going to be that easy? I knew I wanted to have multiple children. And the second time around, we had been trying, and nope, it wasn't happening. And I remember it was only maybe a month or 2 after we had started trying, but I remember thinking, like, feeling this sinking feeling in my stomach, like, oh, this fear that was starting to creep in of like, oh, this is going to be way harder than I thought. And starting to feel almost like a panic start to creep in, where I thought, oh no, is this going to be my life, for the next months or years, of where I'm just defining myself as someone who's trying and trying and trying to get pregnant. And I know so many women, in my life who have had to face that, and it's incredibly challenging. But I remember it's so interesting how I feel like we can often allow that fear to creep in, and allow that the enemy, to creep in our minds and infiltrate and say, this is going to be so tough, and without even really allowing ourselves to fully experience it. So I do remember praying about it, just right away, thinking, Lord, take away the negative, take away those negative thoughts, because I know you are light, you are positive, and you are going to help me through this. And, but it's just so fun. It's so interesting how sometimes hope, you're so hopeful for something that then just negative starts to take over. Right. And all you can fill your brain with is the negative thoughts and negative energy, as opposed to focusing on the good that you want to come out of this.
Yeah. So I was thinking about, I would love for her to tell us, Stan, the story that she told Sunday about that time that hope found you.
Oh, when hope found me, yes. So this is a story that I love to share about how I got the part of Fatina in The Chosen, because I almost didn't get the part. So I self-taped from home. I got the audition information and was able to do a self-tape, which is where you record from home. And my husband read the voice of Jesus, and we did the whole 10-minute scene. And I submitted my audition, and they called me back 2 days later to come down to Dallas and a studio and meet with the director, Dallas Jenkins, and do my audition for him. And so I prepared the audition some more. And when I went in to see him, we really it was like pretty surreal. I don't often have experiences like this with the director where he was giving me notes and I just tried it and it felt like it was clicking. And he spoke to me in a way that I got what he was saying. Sometimes directors can be kind of vague and you're like, I have no idea what you're asking me to do, but I'll try this. So I just felt like we were working well together. We worked on that scene and we worked on the scene where the husband, Fatina's husband, throws the divorce papers into the fire. We did that scene a couple times. And at the end, it just felt, everything was feeling so, it just felt right. So I told him, thank you so much for bringing this sort of work to Dallas and for, trusting in Dallas talent. And, this is just incredible, an awesome opportunity. And I appreciate you so much. And he said something along the lines of, well, thank you. I'm looking forward to working with you, or I can't wait to work with you. So I thought, oh, I think I got the part. I think I got it. So then I had to drop the bomb on him, which was, I was going to be out of town for a whole week in July, and they wanted us to hold the whole month of July open for shooting. And I told him that I was going to Michigan. We had already bought the tickets. I'm going to be gone for this week. And his face just dropped. And I remember thinking, okay, this is what it's like to come this close to getting a dream role, a dream job. And I think this is what it's like to just feel it, taken away from me. And, he literally, his face dropped and he was like, okay, thanks, Vanessa. And I had to just walk out of there. And the energy was entirely different. As I got in my car, all I could do was pray. And I felt, Lord, like, I know this role is for me. So I'm just going to leave it in your hands. And I said, thy will be done. Thy will be done, Lord. I want this role so badly. And if it's mine, I know I will do wonders with this role. I know I can do it, Lord. But if it's not meant to be mine, I pray that you have something else out there for me, something else in the chosen, Lord. But all I can say right now is thy will be done. I will be content with whatever you have headed my way. And 3 days later, I get a phone call from my agent. They rearranged the entire shooting schedule to fit in my scene a week earlier. That's unheard of. In Dallas, I've had many opportunities that have been taken away from me because of the smallest thing, like, oh, you're pregnant? Sorry, we need you to do stunt work. So we're just going to go with plan B. Oh, are you sick? Sorry, we can't work around that. We're going to have someone else just replace you. You're easily replaceable. But in The Chosen and with this type of project and the type of director Dallas Jenkins, know why he bent over backwards to fill me in and put me in this role, just an actor from Dallas, not an A-list actor from LA or New York. But he did, and I'm so grateful that he did. But I think it says a lot about this project, and I think it says a lot about our God.
The story, the woman at the well, is so very familiar in John 4, of course, and it's so impactful. And I guess you think about how many millions of people have watched that. Yeah. And coming from different places of darkness, maybe in their own lives, and have found, just kind of a rebirth. What does that feel like to be a part of something that has that kind of impact on people?
It's just the most incredibly rewarding thing as an actor to experience, because anytime I take on a role, I fall in love with that character. I fall hard. And I think there have been many opportunities in the past where I've taken on a role and I couldn't wait for people to come see it, because I knew it meant so much to me, and I knew it would mean something to others. And that wasn't always the case. My husband's very honest with me, and he'd be the first to say, it wasn't my favorite role. Moving on. You looked like you had fun, but that's it. And this was one of those experiences where I left that set just vibrating with energy. It was like an energy that I couldn't shake off. On my drive home from the set, I remember just feeling like what I had done was something it was just surreal. It was out of body. Now I know what it was. I feel like God was there and he was present the whole time, and he was working through us in that scene. And so, if you ask Jonathan about the scene, apparently there's an interview where he talks about it, where he talks about how it was one of his favorite moments in season 1, and that there was this connection between us that you just couldn't quite describe. So on the way home, I remember trying to, shake that energy, and I just couldn't. And so I think it's just been incredible to have that experience, and then a couple months later, have to wait and see how people would receive it, and then just see how it has taken off is just, it's not your goal as an actor. I think my goal still will always be to fall in love with my characters and tell their story and honor that story. But it is incredible. It's the icing on the cake, when you see that other people are affected by what you did. Mm-hmm. I was just telling her story and honoring her, and in doing so, I'm helping people to connect to the Bible, to connect to Jesus, and to connect to him through, their pasts and their brokenness. And it's just been, it's so incredibly rewarding. It is.
The juxtaposing of the judgmentalism that, when Jesus says, "Oh, I know you've been married 5 times," and you jump to that, you've come here to judge me, and him saying, "No, I've come here to bring you life and forgiveness and all the good that God is about." I love that scene, and the way that it was performed was just beautiful, and I can only imagine how that makes an impact on people, especially people who may not be entrenched in religion. There's sometimes we look at God as being more of a judging God, when that's not who God is primarily.
Right. Yeah, even those of us who might have been raised in church, that was the way we were taught. Oh, judge, or God's a judge. He judges you, and you have to do right, and you have to earn your way to be in his kingdom. And that's just not the case in this scene. And there are so many people have told me that this scene opened up. It was the catalyst to their relationship with God.
Yes.
Yeah, which is just, it's just unreal. I can't believe it. It's like, can someone pinch me, please? Someone pinch me.
Well, it says that, because I love it when you see the beginning of the scene and Jesus is sitting there waiting, is waiting. And Jesus isn't waiting to find something wrong with you. Jesus is waiting to say, "I see you." And that's what that story and that scene reminded, is he's not waiting to say, "Hey, you need to get it together." He's saying, "I see you."
Yeah. Oh, it's so beautiful. Yeah, and that there is that moment in the scene where he says to her, "Yeah, I do you think I came here to Samaria just to see you? Why am I'm here to see you?" And she's almost like, it's disbelief. Like, how, me, lowly me? Why am I worth anything to you? And for sure, she was, and we all are. We are worth so much to him.
Right.
So how do you see hope for the future, where you're going?
Oh man, it's so, every day, almost every day I'm auditioning for things, the next, and some of it is, just simple stuff like voiceover work, or, a training video, corporate training video, or a small commercial, or, bigger TV series and those kind of things. But every day it's just, I think now hope for me is just about staying connected to God and my relationship with God, and allowing him to take hold, and to take the reins in my life. Because as you can imagine, in this business, it's so easy to, to fall in love with roles and auditions and say, I want this role so badly. But what I have just learned to do is to just, every day it's an audition and move on. I don't pray like I did for the role of Fatina. I don't pray to God about my roles. I just say, it's an opportunity. I auditioned, and I'll leave it in his hands, So I think really moving forward in my career and in my life as a mom to 3 boys, it's about prayer, just being prayerful and having a relationship with God. That's hugely important to me. And I feel like some weeks are better than others. But recently, I feel like right now I'm in a really good place where I start my morning with him, and I'm just praying about, what are my hopes for the day? What are the things that I need to get through today? Right now, my dad is dealing with a cancer diagnosis that was pretty recent, and it's early, so we are hopeful that he will get through this, but that's a big part of my prayer each morning. And I have some verses that I love to pray right now. One is, the Lord delights in those who fear him, who put their hope in his unfailing love. And that's from Psalm 147, verse 11. And the other one is, but those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength, from Hebrews 40:31. And so for me, it's about when I allow God to guide me and give me patience during these times, that's what's most important. Because a lot of times with hope, we want it now. We want our answers now. We want it now. And I think that's why the moment when I got the role of Fatina was so exceptional, because it was only 3 days later after having that prayer. But there's so many other things that we're hopeful for that we don't get answered right away. And so it's just allowing God to guide us and know that he's working through it and he knows what's best for us. So it's all on his time. But that's a big part of hope for me, is just having that prayerful relationship with God.
Vanessa, thank you so much for coming on Hope Connection and for all that you're doing. You know, one of our dreams that you can be praying for us about is that we can have dozens of groups around the Chosen, assessing each episode. And that's what we hope. We think it'll make a huge difference in the life of our church. We'll be praying for you and for your father as well, and for your family at this time, that God will just continue to give all of you those signs of hope. And so we want to thank our audience, too, for coming on and experiencing this time with Vanessa with us. And we hope you'll come back again and keep Hope Connection in your prayers as well.